I'm going to tell you about our project that was called PISTA. This is Clue in Spanish, and it was about archives and art, basically how to combine them. I'm going to tell you first of all our clusters approach uh, according to our communications strategy. Basically, we wanted to make it collaborative, creative, and accessible. Also, and this is very important because Venezuela is not an easy country, is politically neutral because we were in a context very complex, basically. Also, we were focused on reaching new audiences because we were activating the cluster and we wanted to give something very fresh, new, and that's why I was selected as the person responsible of all of of all of this. Sorry. And as you can see, I'm the youngest person in our team, so I have a few experience in this field. So we have some challenges in this project because, as I told you before, we were in a complex political situation in the country. Also, the public institutions were forbidden from collaborating with us, basically. Some people wanted to do it, but they were not, they cannot. They just cannot because someone will be very mad about it. Also, and this is something very important in Venezuela too, is that we have high inflation here. So our budget was very hard to use in this context. But we have clear objectives in this case. We wanted to reintroduce EUNIC and the visual identity in the country because our cluster was basically reactivating everything since a lot of years. Also, we wanted to make archives more engaging. How make the archives cool, basically, was the big question that we have. And we wanted to reach and engage new audiences. This is like the most common thing that you can find here. Basically, something that we use, and it was very helpful for us, was the unique resources because we created basically a logotype that will make identify the project, but it was very inspired by the unique logo. That's why we use the colors to highlight the clusters connection. And as you can see it, it's horizontal too. So it's almost like useful in this case. Also, we use the color palette to identify our stages because our project was divided in three. So we use the purple for the seminar, the light blue for general activities, and the dark blue for the open call activities that connected the archives and the art. And if you can see it, we use the logotype, both of them in all the resources. Also, the text, the EUNIC text, we translated to Spanish because that's the official language in Venezuela. And we send the articles to the press in Spanish with this little text. And also in our posts, social media, all of that, newsletters. And something very important is that in our photos, we use the logos, both of them, because it was a way to uh, understand that it was connected to EUNIC and the project, basically. It was an easy way to identify it. And, well, identifying and leveraging key channels. In this case, in Venezuela, Instagram is one of the most widely used social media platforms. So we know that all of us because all the embassies have Instagrams right here, and it's easier to communicate everything over there. So we create an account for the project, and in the end, we were very happy about it because we could create joint social media posts. What Warren, I think that we're talking about collaborative posts, and it was easy to reach more people basically. And also something that we find very useful was working with each member's local media partners and networks because we could send some article to Poland because of me, or maybe have something in common with Trinidad and Tobago because we work with the archives over there and here in Venezuela and how it was connected. So it was very useful when we share this information. Also, something that is very important for all of clusters, I think so, was how to achieve your wider aims as a cluster. In this case, we positioned us as a collaborative local cluster with key stakeholders both in country and internationally. This is basically what I just said before, because in Venezuela, so many people are not allowed to apply for open calls. So we create one for them, and they find that very impressive, reachable, and yeah, basically that. Also, this showcase us as an innovative cluster with relevant ideas and projects. Nobody has worked with archives in Venezuela in this way because they cannot understand how you can connect the archives and the art, and they could find a way to make it more relevant, important, and even funny. I don't know how to make it cool. Basically, that was the whole thing in this project. And in the end, it helped us to strengthen relationships with our partners right here. And also, we built new ones in this case, and this was the most important part of the project because we find our ways to connect with new people, and I think that that's the most relevant in our case. Something that I wanted to share with you that was very useful in this case, it does that we create some templates to reduce our expenses because of the high inflation that I mentioned before, and also this make the workflow easier. You need to understand that our images needed to be approved by a lot of people. So with one template, you just can put everything together and they will approve just one, and then you can just repeat it and change just a few things in your project. So it will be very easy for you and you won't have so many delays in the communication that could happen because it's not easy to work with a lot of institutions. And basically, this is all that I wanted to present you right now because I wanted to be very quick. I know that there are just a few minutes right here, but also I wanted to tell you that don't be afraid to present new things and to try a few things that maybe won't work at the beginning, but you will find a way to make it work. And that's how you can understand the communications today, because basically the comms are changing right now with the AI and all of this, and we need to try new things and don't be afraid to do it, even if some of them won't work at the end. So thank you so much.